Good morning. It is August 26th, 2020 at 4:56 in the morning. I almost made this video at like 2 in the morning because my sleep is like epic levels of garbage right now. But I try to make the video when nobody's awake or around. And at 2 in the morning, my house was like a freeway for everybody. My husband was sleeping in my eldest's room to try and get them back to sleep, and then my sibling was up and about, and then my 5-year-old was finding me, and I was up and about. Oops, Annie, that's my pop filter. Annie is here today. Anyway, so I managed to get like a whole nother hour of sleep between 2 and 5. I don't know why my sleep is so screwy right now. It's not much fun, but it's not a big deal. I've taken a hiatus from Twitter, and it kind of sucks because despite being somewhat of a hellscape, Twitter is my favorite platform right now. I mostly use Twitter in what I call write-only mode, which is where I don't try to backread my tweets. I follow a lot of people on Twitter, and I have lists so that I can try and follow people that I really care about, but I don't usually backread. But by hiding and ignoring most of my timeline, I found that I started just going into the trending topics on Twitter, and that is the real hellscape right now. I found myself commenting on things that I don't want to comment on, and I have no authority to comment on, that really stress me out. Like right before I went on Twitter hiatus, which realistically will probably only last a few days, I was tweeting about like Kellyanne Conway and her daughter. Do you know how much I care about the Conways? Like, I don't care about the Conways. And yet I found myself tweeting about it at a time when it was a trending topic. And when you do that, you get people in your mentions just being normal trolls on Twitter. and that is not a fun way to use it. For me, Twitter is at its best when I'm just using it as an ongoing chat room where I pop in and talk with myself, and then sometimes my friends will reply to me. I like writing threads about my family and my mental health and the books I'm writing. I do threads about world building in my fantasy stories and quoting funny stuff from my books that I think is funny. I make myself laugh, I suspect, a lot more than I make other people laugh. But isn't that the point of life? And so I know I won't be away from Twitter for long because I really enjoy those aspects of it. But I need to make sure that I don't get lost in the trending topics. It's like nothing but these wildfires have burned down this many homes. This school has had a massive outbreak and shut down because of COVID, and blah, 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 blah. And it just generally fills my mind with so much that I would really be better off not thinking about. To an extent, it helps keep me informed and aware, but there's definitely such a thing as too informed and too aware. So I had a nice time yesterday while I was not doom scrolling on Twitter. I really thought that once I broke myself away from my most quicksandy of my social media, that I would rather promptly get into writing. And I did write a bit, but I actually spent most of my day figuring out the animation tools in my favorite drawing app, Procreate. I use Procreate on iPad to do drawings. I'm a hobby artist. I always have been, but it makes me so happy to draw. So yesterday I took a drawing, I drew a picture, and then I spent a long time trying to make little bits of it animate. Yeah. I mean, look at this baby. That little few seconds of clip took hours of work for me to learn. And although that's still not the productivity that I was hoping to get, it is still so vastly superior to sitting on Twitter and writing threads about the Conways. Of all things that I definitely, absolutely do not care about. I did work a little bit on my info sheet, is what I'm calling it, my info sheet for my contemporary romance. I'm really happy about that. Maybe I've been a little bit stuck in my writing processes because I often have trouble being in the same physical environment when I write for too long. And I've been quarantined for 5 months now. So, over 5 months. So I'm pretty sick of my house. And I can't just go work at Starbucks. I usually spend a fair amount of time throughout the year working at different Starbucks in order to change my scenery frequently. And so I moved my laptop and its related accoutrement downstairs from, I took it out of my office upstairs and I took it downstairs to the foyer, is I guess what you would call it. It's the room inside the front door, which we kind of just use it as a multi-purpose room. Anyway, I moved my stuff into the foyer. And the new setup is, it's change. It didn't seem to unlock any creativity the way that moving things around in the past has worked for me. One thing it did do was give our new baby kittens easy access to me. And let me tell you, babies are obnoxious. I say this with enormous love. It's a very specific kind of baby obnoxious that isn't really obnoxious. It's just super inconvenient. The babies, the girls, they are a little over 4 months now. Wow, it just occurred to me that those kittens haven't lived in a world where America hasn't been plague riddled. How fun! So my plague babies were crawling all over my laptop, trying to get into my water glass, eating my headphone cords, just all over the place. And so even though I spent a while working there yesterday, I spent most of the time just grabbing kittens away from my water glass and being like, don't you do that. That's my water glass. You have water. And it's fun. But still, I am not productive in the way that I would like. I grasp for it. I struggle for it. Maybe if I stressed about it a lot more, maybe if I punished myself the way I used to, I could get more done. It just doesn't seem worth it now. Especially not right now. Under ordinary circumstances, I could certainly push it further, but so many of my resources are so consumed by life right now that it's just not worth it. I'll get there. My kids have been in school 2 days this week. Hopefully we'll reach all 5. And while it is incredibly exhausting for my poor children, who are just tired and stressed, and some days I just wish that I could just shove them back in my belly and keep them there where nothing has to bother them. Even though it sucks for them, it means that my days are freer, hopefully, for a while. As long as nothing dramatic changes, which 2020 has been nothing but dramatic changes. So I guess to an extent it's hard for me to trust that they're not going to be in the house. I'm still not really winding down when they left. It's only been 2 days. Maybe by the end of the week I will be a little more settled into worrying just about me during the day instead of worrying excessively about them, because I know that there are other adults to worry about them right now during the day. My goals today are mostly to work on my stupid romance novel. And that's pretty much it. Just want to get through stuff. I wish I could go back to sleep. I mean, I probably could. But I'd probably only get a half hour of sleep or so at this point. I'm so tired. That's all I have to say right now. Before 5 in the morning. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I get any work done, or if today is another day of just peeling kittens off my laptop keyboard. Bye!